big back. And I mean that quite literally. I really want to crochet myself a fun backless top because I am severely lacking in the backless top or the kind of like low back, scooped back sort of tops and dresses and stuff. And last year I made myself a dress which had a kind of like somewhat low back, and I was like, I need more of this. I loved having my back out. I loved having it on show. I love a big back. Personally, I think broad shoulders, back rolls are so hot and so sexy, and I want to get mine out more. And you know how hard it is to find a plus size friendly, big tit friendly backless top? Near impossible. So I'm gonna make my own. I also low-key kind of hate the phrase big back because I feel like it's been co-opted into a phrase that's like derogatory, and I don't like that. So this is also me trying to reclaim the term big back to mean it literally, because I have a big back and I want to get it out and show the world my big back. So that's also what I will be hopefully achieving with this project. Do you know how difficult it was for me to find a backless top shown on a plus size body? Don't even get me started. It's basically impossible, and the style of top I want, could not find it in a plus size, let alone shown to me on a plus size body. I even looked on like TikTok, I even looked on Instagram. I tried to find like my plus size baddies who do all the fashion content. Couldn't find a single thing that I liked. So these are the kind of tops that I am interested in doing, this kind of style, this kind of vibe. I do want it to have like a good amount of coverage on the front because I do have big tits, and obviously with a backless top I most likely am going to be braless. So I want it to be basically like full coverage on the front and like essentially nothing on the back. So it's literally going to be business in the front, party in the back, which I actually think is really fun because I've never had a top or a dress or anything like that. Also, hello, if you are new to my channel, my name is Rajan, or Not Half Bad Crochet. I post all things crochet. I am a part-time crochet pattern designer and content creator. I have all of my patterns listed in the description as always, and if you enjoy crochet content, project vlogs, cozy crochet days, maybe some behind the scenes stuff, then stick around, subscribe to my channel. So let me show you the yarn that I am going to be working with. If you are familiar with my channel, you know I'm on a real stash busting mission at the moment, and I have a bunch of cotton yarn, really nice fine cotton yarn, which I'm hopefully going to be able to utilize for this project. The first color is this lilac shade, and you may recognize this shade because I have used this for 3 projects already, 2 of them being dresses, one of them being a like tank top with a bunch of different colors. So I have a total of 150 grams of this lilac and then like a little bit left over. So that's my first color, and then I'm gonna also be pairing it with this really beautiful sage green. This is a new color in my stash. When I bought my color palette for the queen bee top, I did pick up I think just 2 skeins of this, 250 gram skeins of it, because I knew that I wanted to make another like summery top, and I knew I wouldn't have enough of this like weight yarn to make a top that I wanted to make. So I did pick up 2 50 gram skeins of this. So this is the color palette I'm going for. Really cute pastel. I really love like pinky purpley and green tones together. I think it looks really nice. I do also have this random amount of yarn, which again I've used for a bunch of projects. I've used it for my diamond in the rough cardigan and also a dress, and so this is all I have left. It's like some of it's frogged for like from like an old project, that's why it's all in these like tiny little balls, but I really would love to incorporate this into the top somehow, just so I can use it up, and I think like the 3 of them would make a really nice color palette, and this would obviously be like an accent color or maybe just like something thrown in there just to shove it in. It wouldn't be like a main or dominant color basically, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm working with. I have 2 of the sage green, 3 of the lilac, just over 3 of the lilac, and then whatever's in here, probably like I don't know, 20 grams of it. So this is all of the yarn that I'm going to be using for this project. At the moment I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what kind of construction method I'm going to go for. I don't know what stitch I want to use. I don't know if I want to do like striped or like, I don't know how I'm going to incorporate all of the colors. So I am going to have a little think about what I want to do, and then we'll go from there basically. I do have an idea. I don't know, this is maybe a little bit crazy, but basically to do like a checkerboard situation. Do you think that'll be fun? I don't know. I think it could look really cute. So like just checkerboard, and then like checkerboard around like the bottom connecting bit, and then like a little mini checkerboard for the front bit, for like the, you know, the top bit. And then, you know what I could do? I could do, wait, this is actually maybe a really cool idea, but I also don't know if it's slightly insane. I could do checkerboard, right? Stay with me. And then I could do like some of the checks like tapestry, if that makes sense, like a little motif, maybe like a little floral motif, or like some leaves, or I don't know, some spring summery sort of thing, like something easy and very simple. That could look really cool actually. And then, because where I have more of the lilac, I could also incorporate the lilac into the motifs. Would that be crazy? I don't know, because obviously I have more of the lilac, so I kind of need to figure out, and only 2 of the sage green, so I kind of need to figure out what to do there. Be a lot of ends to weave in though, but that's fine. When has that ever stopped me? Yes, I think that could be an excellent idea, and I think that could look really, really cute. Yes. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, I definitely really am fucking with the checkerboard sort of situation, kind of full frontal sort of vibe. Throwing in this, because I was considering using this for like an accent, like around the edges, like a nice kind of finishing edge, that sort of thing. Lots of thoughts at the moment, not really many decisions. I think I maybe need to like sit down and do a really terrible drawing of like the construction, like what I'm thinking. I think I'm gonna have a little look at like a closer look at like the photos and stuff that I have for inspo, figure out what kind of construction I want to do, then basically go from there. So yeah, let's get cracking. Hello friends, so a little update. I have gone for a kind of checkerboard situation, and so what I'm doing is I'm basically treating it like I'm working in the round, because I was thinking of like different construction ways of doing it, and like doing like a front panel and like technically a back panel, but I'm kind of like, whereas like backless, I won't have like a full back panel, and I think it will just kind of look weird. But I do still need some coverage around kind of like the curve of my boobs and basically the start of my back, if that makes sense. So it's not just gonna like stop here, it's still gonna wrap around slightly, otherwise my tits are gonna fall out. So I'm basically treating it like I'm working in the round, and then I'm gonna split off to do like the front part and then the back part, which will be very minimal. And yeah, I am going for like the checkerboard situation. I love how the colors look together, like the sage green with the lilac looks really, really nice. And I'm working with a 2.5mm hook, because yeah, 2.5, because I obviously want the stitches to be quite close together, because I will be braless underneath, or most likely will be braless, so I don't want like my nips to pop out basically. So yeah, I've done it quite a tight gauge, tighter than I usually would, and I've just kind of finished like the first block of this checkerboard, and then now I'm gonna like start alternating it as well. Usually when I do any sort of like checkered pattern, I will typically carry the yarn, but where I am A, working with like a minimal amount of yarn, and B, I don't want it to be super bulky, because it is going to be like a somewhat spring summer kind of top, so I want it to be like as lightweight as possible. I have decided to basically do like essentially tapestry and use bobbins, so I have like a big old ball of all of the different bobbins that I need, and there is quite a few obviously for the whole kind of, for each check essentially. But yeah, I'm really loving it so far. I also decided that I'm gonna sporadically throw in like some kind of like geometric designs throughout the top, just like really randomly throw them in on like the odd kind of like tile, most likely the sage green ones, because that's one where I have the color that I have less yarn in, and then I'll use this gold color for those kind of like geometric patterns. I was going to do like maybe some florals and leaves and that sort of thing, but I think I like the idea of doing like geometric designs, A, because it's easier for me to like draw them on Stitch Fiddle, but also because I think it'll look cute, and I don't really have anything like that. But I am going to throw them in really, really randomly, because I obviously don't have like a lot of this yarn. I don't want it to be like cohesive, I want it to just be like thrown in the design of the top. But yeah, this took a really long time just to kind of do these first 12 rows, but yeah, it's going well so far. Obviously Obviously this is going to take me a little while, but I am going to do it cropped. I'm using a small hook and like I'm okay with that. I don't mind that because I think it looks really nice. I feel like the stitches are nice and even and like kind of tight. They're not see-through or anything as well. And I'm just doing single crochet as I always do with like anything checkerboard and anything tapestry. So yeah, that's my update so far. I think it's going to be pretty simple until I kind of reach the point where I need to like split off. I'll keep you posted. Tragedy has struck. It's not that bad. I'm being a drama queen. I lost the graph that I made for all of the little geometric designs that I did. I didn't realize that my laptop updated and I didn't save the graph for some reason. I think when I made it, I wasn't actually logged into Stitch Fiddle, so it didn't just save to like my account like it usually does. So yeah, I lost all of the graphs that I made. It wasn't a huge amount, but I'm like, I don't remember exactly what they look like because I was obviously just like winging it, and I was halfway through doing one of them. Luckily this one was just like a mirrored design, so it was pretty easy for me to figure out, but I was just like, oh for God's sake. So yeah, here's my update. It's looking really good so far. I love the addition of these like random geometric designs. I think it just like adds like a nice fun touch to it as well. In terms of like fit and stuff, it's looking pretty good. It has like shrunk up a little bit, which I was expecting to happen, and I am planning on blocking it, and then obviously I'm gonna have like a tie in the back. But the main thing that I need it to happen is that when it's over my bust, I just need to make sure that it kind of like goes slightly around, like you can kind of see it goes underneath my armpits in terms of the width. So yeah, I've still got a little way to go until I kind of split off. So I think maybe like 1 or 2 more checkers until I can split off and do like the front part, and then do whatever kind of detailing I want to do in the back. I haven't quite decided. I was thinking in terms of the tie in the back, what I think would look really cute is basically like an oversized ribbon. Like if I was to get maybe some like satin or silky ribbon, or maybe like an organza ribbon, and make it like so it's like an almost like an oversized bow in the back, I think that could look really cute, especially if I find one in this kind of like lilac shade, or maybe even this sage green shade. I think that could look really beautiful. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I will obviously cross that bridge once I'm a little bit closer to it, and probably go to like Hobbycraft or find a haberdashery or something that has like ribbon and stuff, because yeah, I think that could look really cute rather than like a crocheted bow. Because like yeah, a crocheted one would look nice, but I think just like a really kind of like cunty oversized ribbon would look really cute. So now I do need to make some more of these little motifs. I don't remember the other ones that I had, so I will just have to like make up some more ones and see how that goes. I probably won't like replicate these two just because like I can't be bothered. I might as well just like come up with something else. I'm thinking of just like scattering a few more. So in each row for the past 2 like checkers, I've only done like 1 on each, so I'm thinking of doing like 2 and just kind of like spreading it out a little bit more. But yeah, it's going well. update time. So I have, what is that, fluff? I have finished with the kind of like main portion of the top. I've done like all of my decreases that I want to do. So I think it's now sitting around about here. So now I'm just going to do some like kind of thick straps. I'll probably give it like a kind of rounded neckline rather than a square neckline. I went to Hobbycraft today and I bought myself some ribbon. I was debating between this like really nice kind of like organza material or like a satin ribbon. The organza one I think I would have preferred, but they only had one and it didn't have like the seal on it, and it had a couple of stains on the end, and I did ask if they had another one like in stock somewhere, but they didn't. So I just got the satin one, which I do still really like. I think I just like actually preferred the organza one, but the satin one is still nice. So I am going to be using the satin ribbon as like the kind of connecting area at the back, and then I think as well I'm just going to do like a finishing edge around the outside before I connect the ribbon. What's kind of annoying about this top is that I can't really try it on. Like I can obviously hold it against myself, but where it's backless I have to kind of like clamp it under my armpit, clamp it under my other armpit to be able to see like where it's sitting or like the decreases and like how high the neckline is. It's like a very minor annoying part of this top, is that I can't like try it on properly. But what I was thinking was basically just connecting like a bunch of safety pins in the back, so then I can kind of like basically like a chain of safety pins, so then at least I can kind of see what it will look like on, and then I can make any adjustments, or like it will be a bit easier for me to visualize how to do the back part of it. Obviously I have loads of ends to weave in. I did float my yarn over the kind of like tapestry elements, but yeah, a bunch of ends, but that's okay. That's it, that's my update. Working on the straps now, and then hopefully I will be finished somewhat soon. Okay, I have finished the top. I'm just about to go and block it, but I thought I'd show you kind of how I finished it. It's been so hot the past few days, like we've had like a 42 degree heat wave, and so if you can hear the aircon blasting, that is what that noise is. And also it's why I didn't really provide much updates, because it is so fucking hot. I've been fucking dying. But anyway, I finished the top, and then I basically created like these strap little bits, and then I was trying to figure out like how to kind of connect it to the back, because I obviously need like armholes essentially, and so I just kind of extended the bottom bit and then just connected it at the top. So it was really easy, I think, funnily enough, because of the checkerboards, that I was able to kind of like connect the yarn at like any point really, and it didn't kind of like look weird in terms of the flow of the piece, because it's all checkerboard. And then I also bought some ribbon from Hobbycraft. Did I mention this already? I don't know, but I got this like satin lilac ribbon, and I feel like the color match is perfect. It's like this really soft pale lilac. So this is what I'm going to use for the kind of like connecting part at the back of the top. The thing that I am like undecided on is that a lot of these tops tend to have obviously like a kind of part in the middle where it connects the back, but it also typically has a little bit at the top as well, like kind of towards the shoulder area. And I don't typically like how that looks, but like I understand the need for it so that the straps don't kind of constantly fall off. So part of me is tempted to not add one for now, see how I feel. If I feel like the straps are constantly falling off, then fine. I will probably maybe just add like another you know, satin bow to it, or like ribbon to it. If I can get away with not having one up there, I think I would actually prefer it. I did do a little try on, and it does feel like really weird to have a backless top, because I don't own anything properly backless. Probably the closest thing is this dress, but I think that's just more of like a very kind of low back. But yeah, I don't have anything like properly backless, so it felt really weird putting this on. I was trying to like almost like pull it over my back more, because I'm not used to having anything that's backless. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to wearing this. I feel like particularly with like dresses like this where they do have this kind of low back, I'm kind of like, it's like exposure therapy, because as much as I am like comfortable in my body, I'm also a person, you know. I've not worn anything backless before, so it's going to feel a little bit weird, and I'm going to feel a little bit self-conscious about it. But I think because the front is also like somewhat full coverage, it's I think that will like kind of make me feel a little bit better, you know. I won't feel as exposed. So yeah, I really love how it's all come together. I love the kind of like random geometric patterns in there as well. I think it just adds like a little fun moment to it, and like they're all slightly different, and yeah, I really like it. I think it looks really fun. So I'm gonna go block it now. Because of the heat, I do think it will dry in 25 seconds, and then from there I'm going to weave in a bajillion ends, and then I will sew this on. I'm also kind of debating how I'm going to like attach this yarn, because what I'm thinking is maybe creating like little loops with the lilac yarn, so I can kind of like loop this ribbon through it versus sewing it directly onto the piece. And I'm also debating maybe doing it in like a little crisscross, almost like a corset sort of vibe in the back, rather than just like a straight, you know, one bow situation. I think that could also look really nice, but I'll see how I feel once it's like dried and blocked and all of the ends aren't getting in my way. So yeah, gonna go block it now. I finished it. It took me 1,000,000 years to weave in all of the ends. Oh my god, I don't think I really anticipated like how many ends there were going to be, especially that I was working with like a lot of scrap yarn and like little bobbins here and there. Oh my god, it took forever. I usually don't mind weaving in a lot of ends, but this time I was really like, damn, this is a lot. And it was like a real slog to get through, but I managed it. I did it. I think the top has turned out really cute. I love the color palette and like the little geometric tiles I've got going on, and I love the backless element as well. So I did decide to go for like a kind of corset tie, which I think looks really nice. And like basically what I did with the loops is that originally I put them on the kind of outside edge, and so when I had tied it up it was like really yanking on that loop, and I didn't really like how that looked. So I basically did the loops kind of underneath the edging, so that when it kind of pulled, it wasn't pulling the edging and like kind of distorting the actual top. It just like pulled from underneath, if that makes sense. So I think it looks a lot better, and I'm a lot more confident in like the strength of the loop as well, because it's not just like on the edge of the top. I think it's turned out really, really nice. I definitely feel like a little bit exposed, you know, because I don't have any backless tops and I don't really wear backless tops, but I think because of the way the ribbon is kind of like in this like shoelace corset kind of like tie, it makes it feel very secure. I don't feel like I'm gonna like spill out on the edges or the sides or anything. I think as well what's really fun is that I can kind of change the way that the tie is done. Like I could do one at the top row and then one in the bottom row if I feel like it. So if I like want to change it up, I totally can. But yeah, I love how it's turned out. This was like a real labor of love, I think, not only because of weaving in all the ends, but also like figuring out the construction of it. And like I also didn't know if I was gonna like end up liking it or like how it looked on me. I think because I'm not used to seeing my back so exposed, I'm not used to seeing like other plus size people with their backs out, so it feels like a little bit weird and a little bit alien. But like I said, I feel very comfortable, so I think I'm just gonna get used to it basically, and it just feels a little bit different and I'm not used to it. So yeah, I'm very much like looking forward to wearing this out a little bit more. I think it looks really cute with the way that the ribbon is tied as well. I've just paired it with this like brown sequin skirt for today, and I do have like a couple other skirts and bottoms and stuff in my wardrobe that I think it will go really nicely with. I do feel like as well this top is very much like business in the front, party in the back. I do feel normal. I don't feel like my boobs are out or anything like that, but I do feel like it's got like a fun little kind of risque element to it, which I really love. I had a really fun time crocheting this top. Obviously I hope you enjoyed watching this vlog. If you did, please let me know your thoughts in the comments, subscribe to my channel and give this video a little like. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll hopefully catch you on the next one.